So hello and welcome to part 4 of my series on making ARMA3 missions with Alive. In this episode we're going to be looking at the player combat support system. This allows you to set up modules where you can get the AI providing both artillery, close air and transport support to you while you play. So to start off, we're going to need to very quickly give the player a laser designator, and I've done this off camera, but it is required in order to access the combat support system. You can set whatever object you want to be required, but for the sake of this it's the laser designator, and that's the default in Alive. So to get started, we place down the player combat support module, and then we add, let's say, the artillery module. So let's first look at the combat support module. This is basically saying that players will call in combat support with this object, the laser designator, which I just added. You do have options here for the number of times that they can respawn these elements as well. These are your global options for player combat support. The first module we're going to play with is the artillery, and this will allow us to call in on-map artillery controlled by the AI. So if we go into this module, we see that the artillery is going to be called Fox 7. This is the group class name of the artillery that's going to be spawned. You can change this to whatever artillery you wish to be spawned. And then here we've got the numbers of the various types of rounds that are going to be fired or that are available to this unit. To get this working, we need to sync up the player combat support for the artillery to the standard player combat support module. And that's it. Let's go in game and see how this works. Okay, so we've spawned in, and as you can see, right next to us where we place the module, we have our 3 pieces of artillery. We can now control them by going to the Alive key, player combat support, and we now have this new interface here on the Alive tablet which shows us our options. So we have artillery available to us. They're called Fox 7, just like we specified. And for the sake of a demonstration, let's call in a fire mission. We'll set HE as the ordnance type, full rate of fire. Let's have 3 rounds at this point here, and we'll set a dispersion of 150 meters, and let's confirm that. You'll see that we see radio messages confirming what's happening, and we should see that one of these units, maybe more than one, will start firing in a moment. There we go, turrets are moving, and the rounds have been fired. So if we continue looking in this direction, the rounds can take a little bit of time to fire, to land, sorry. Let's wait. There we go. Our rounds rounded up there with the required dispersion. There are a few bugs in Alive at the moment, so I know that 3 rounds are meant to be fired, but only 2 landed, but I'm sure they'll get that worked out very soon. So now let's go back and look at the options for transport. So for the moment, we'll just move this artillery out of the way so we have more space. Let's now put in the transport module. And what this module will do is provide a helicopter, a transport helicopter, which we can order to come and pick us up and take us back to base. We can move it around the map using a very similar interface. So this is the type of unit that's going to be spawned, and there are various other options as well which you can explore. So as before, we take the module and we sync it to the main player combat support module. And let's go in game and try out the transport. Okay, we're back in game, and we should find that a friendly transport helicopter has spawned where we placed the module. Let's go into combat support, and now we have another option available here, the transport. Transport is called Rodeo 2, and we have these various options. We can order it to go and pick up troops, in which case it will move to a location and then ask for smoke to be thrown, and then it will land there. We can ask it to land in a location, land with the engine off, move or circle. For just the purposes of demonstration, I'm going to ask the helicopter to go and circle just to our northwest. So given the orders, we see the written confirmation. And now the helicopter will spool up, move over to that location. Also note that at any time we can order it to RTB, and in that case it'll stop what it's doing and come back to its original spawn point. Okay, finally let's look at the air combat support. So we'll move this out of the way just as before, and the last one is the close air support module. And this is really exactly as it sounds. It'll spawn in a close air support helicopter, and we can order it around in the same way. So we put the module down, sync it to the main player combat support module, and for the sake of demonstration perhaps, let's place some units, perhaps some mechanized infantry over here on the hill, and we will order the chopper to go and attack them. So let's get back in to the mission. We should see our close air support, and in the distance I can see the enemies, so before they spot us, let's order the close air support. Oh, we're being attacked, to go and do a search and destroy mission over on that hill. Okay, helicopter is beginning to spawn up. You see the enemy vehicle there. I'm going to lie down so we don't get shot. There we go. It's engaging. We can see it firing its missiles at that vehicle there. And by the look of it, the vehicle is destroyed. So, to summarize, we looked at the 3 different modules for player combat support. That's the artillery, the transport, and the close air support. How you place down the modules you want, set the unit involved, and then sync them back to the main player combat support module. And then in that module, you have the item that is required to call them in and to control them. So for an example in a mission, you might give that item only to the leader of specific groups within your player setup. So I hope that was useful. See you in the next episode.